Welcome back to my channel. So yes, I do have box braids, triangle box braids actually, and I'm going to leave the link to the girl who does them down below. She does a really good job. Shout out to Emmy for doing my hair. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a very important video because you guys, some of y'all just be looking like ghost face, okay? And me myself, I'm guilty, but you know, we gotta learn from it and progress. So today's video is going to be how to avoid flashback with your foundation. I'm gonna be giving you my tips and tricks, and then I'm gonna be showing you at the end that the routine actually works. And then if it doesn't work, then just don't listen to me. So yeah, so everything works differently for everyone's skin, but these are just what works for me, and flashback is not cute on anybody, and I see so many girls do it. I see so many girls do it on Instagram as well and try to blur their neck with their like face. If your foundation doesn't match, then it just doesn't match. Everybody has to go through it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and hop right into the video. So no need to blab or anything. So with flashback photography, you're going to be like, you know, capturing your face. You want to make sure that you have a flawless base, and regardless of if you're oily or not oily, you want to moisturize. Moisturization is just going to make sure that you don't have any dry patches, especially when you take flash photography, because that can cling. So after you've moisturized, which my face is already moisturized, then you want to go in with a HD foundation primer. So this one is the NYX Studio HD Photogenic Primer base, and it's just like a nice primer. Honestly, I have no clue what it does, and it says HD and it's photogenic, so sounds good to me. So I'm just gonna rub that in. Make sure you try not to leave any residue behind, because that's another easy way to get flashback. With flash photography, again, you're going to be up close and personal, so you do want to make sure your skin looks flawless and airbrushed, even without you having to touch an app. So a primer that I know works for me is the Milk Makeup Primer, and it's the blur stick, and there's no shade, you just put it on your face. So I'm gonna put that right in the areas I know I have the most pores. And I'm not even gonna pat it in, because I've realized when you pat it in, it kind of goes away. And you don't have to use the Milk Makeup if it's too expensive. You can use the Maybelline Baby Skin, one of those two primers. So next we're going to be going in with foundations. Now I don't know what in foundation causes flashback, but I know that there are some foundations, especially with sunscreen, that do cause flashback. So these are the foundations that I've come to find that don't cause any, and what I recommend is that you go one foundation shade darker, or a half foundation shade darker, or go to your very true shade. Whenever you go darker, not darker to where you look like who done it and why, but like darker to where when you take that flash photography, it's just gonna look seamless. That's what I like to do, and then lighten up my foundation with some concealer and some powder, just so everything comes together. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you the foundations that I found work for me. The first foundation is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick, and this one's in the shade Caramel. This one's the one that works for me every single time I take pictures. That one is $25. Then this one is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, normal to oily. I love this one for flashback. This one's in the shade 330. This is my summer shade because I'm normally like 320. And that one's, I think, $5.99. This one's the Too Faced Born This Way. Love this one. And then the last one is the Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation in Medium Tan Honey. So what I like to do is mix foundations. So I want to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills stick, and I'm going to be putting that in stripes all over my face. Another key tip is that don't put any foundation on your forehead unless you just have really bad forehead acne. The less foundation you put on the forehead, the easier it is to blend with your hairline, because that seems to be the problem with a lot of people. Put a little bit on the forehead just because it's a stick foundation. Now we're going to be going on top with another foundation just so that everything can blend seamlessly. I'm going to dot a little bit of this Tarte on my face. Now what I like to recommend is to use a brush, and the brush I'm going to be using is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Now a brush just makes sure to get, like, I don't know how to explain it. It makes sure that you blend the foundation actually into your skin instead of just having it like laying on top. So I really like to use this brush just to ensure that everything looks seamless and flawless and skin-like. Also, make sure to drag the foundation onto your ear. You don't have to do the whole ear. Ear is a good place to do, just so that it'll all come together and match. Okay, on the forehead, keep it very, very low. Then drag your foundation up. Don't drag your foundation up to begin with. I don't really normally like to take liquids down my neck, but this is what you do once you have that sounds weird, no more foundation on your brush. Just make sure you drag it like you drag these girls on Twitter. Okay, I feel like this is pretty doggone blended. I don't think it could get any better. I'm leaving this area out for a specific reason. So if you want to, you can just go back over with any beauty blender, make sure that everything is solidly blended. So the concealer that I like to use is this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Conceal Corrector, and it claims to be a no flashback concealer, so this one's a good cheap alternative. And what I like to do is to put it on, and I learned this from Jackie Aina. I like to put it on and let it sit for a little while, because if you let it sit, then it just adds more coverage and you don't have to put so much and waste so much of your product. And also a little trick that I learned myself is that when you go to blend out your concealer, make sure you take a little bit of the foundation that's left and blend it all in with it. While that concealer is settling into our skin, we're going to be cream contouring. Now, cream contour is great if you're looking for no flashback, because a lot of powder can cause a lot of flashback, and this is also why I left the forehead kind of empty per se, because I wanted to cream contour up there and there was just no need to bring that down if, you know, I wasn't going to use it. So, alright, now time to go and blend the concealer out. Again, take a little bit of your normal foundation and just go in with it, okay? And we're gonna go back over with a beauty blender, so don't worry if you see any streaks due to the brush. You see how this brush just literally does everything? It's an expert face brush for a reason. It is amazing. It does everything. And the reason I like to keep my cream contour up here is because look, it looks just like my skin. So we didn't even put any foundation on there, but it still looks just like my skin. Okay, now one thing that I would not recommend is to bake when you are trying to achieve a no flashback look. But if you do bake, make sure your sponge is extremely wet and you spray it, and you spray your face before you bake and then go in with baking. But for today, I'm just going to be setting my face with the Maybelline Shine Free foundation powder, whatever powder, and this has never given me flashback, so this is why I use it. But one foundation that I know gives flashback is the Dermablend powder. So make sure if you do use that, you stay away from it when you're trying to take flash photography photos. So I'm just gonna put this literally right up here and make sure I buff it away really, really well. We don't want any traces of powder under our eye. We're almost done. So the next thing that I like to do is to put on some powder. So I'm going to be taking that exact same brush with my Cover FX powder. Now what I recommend is getting a very skin tone shade and just going right over where you baking powder, just so that if you did not blend it all out, it will still look like skin when you take the picture. Contouring is not necessary for every step, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to be taking my Makeup Geek contour shade right there, taking my BH Cosmetics brush, which is awesome for contouring because it gets literally, as you can see, like right up in the area that needs to be contoured. Now bronzer is an important step because if you do wear too light of a foundation, if you normally bronze your skin up, you can get away with it, but sometimes I found that doesn't even work for me. So, my nose is itching. Okay, so we're gonna take the this is the NYX bronzer, and I'm going to just be making sure my forehead is bronzed even more. Make sure the sides of your face are bronzed and blend it out. And then take a little bit and put it right here. Okay, you guys really know that I'm not a big fan of blush, but a blush that I know doesn't like show up really weird on your skin are these Tarte blushes, but I'm not going to be using blush for the purpose of this video because it ain't what I do on an everyday basis, so why do it? Okay, so the last step is highlighter, and highlighter actually does play a part in it. It's not just a reflective part of your makeup. It can look very white and make a weird cast on your face, so you want to make sure that if you're going to be taking flash photography, you pick a good undertone for your skin. And I feel like this Kylie Salted Caramel is a really good one for a lot of different people, and even though you may not like Kylie, I'm going to be using this today, so get over it. Another tip that's going to work is if you spray your brush before you use it, it just makes the highlighter kind of melt into your skin a little bit better. So I'm gonna load my brush, and you don't want to load too much at first. Spray the brush, let it air out, give it a little time to dry. I just feel like it looks very skin-like to me. Okay, so I feel like this is a good amount of highlighter. So what I like to do whenever I put on my highlighter is to just blend it from the bottom with whatever I used to do bronzer with. Kind of tap it off, blend it from the bottom just so that they blend into one. And this is where putting on blush does come in handy, but again, I'm not putting on blush. So another thing that will help everything to just sink in together is when you spray your face, take your beauty blender and pat all over just so that everything literally melts into your skin. So I'm going to be using my Pixie Hydrating Mist, and then I'm going to be spraying my face like I just did. Now just go over your highlighter. Every place you put on the highlighter, make sure you go over it. Alright, so I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look that I came up with, and don't you guys worry, I did film you a little tutorial and I accidentally did some swatches because this is using the new Morphe and Jaclyn. If the video is not already up by now, then you'll see it. Let me go get my phone so I can show you guys that this has no flashback. Okay, so even though it was blurry, you guys can still tell that there was no flashback whatsoever. Even though blurry again, still no flashback. So as you guys can see, this is a flashback proof routine. I really hope you guys take my tips and tricks. Baby, go buy the foundation and let me know how this tip and trick video worked out for you. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I just love to hear you guys, period. So make sure you comment down below, make sure you subscribe, like, and thank you guys so much for 60,000. I cannot wait to meet all of you guys at 100,000 because I'm gonna do a meetup / party. So let's get there so we can make the party start early. And yeah, this look will be up soon. Nails are, I'll link everything that you might want to know down below, and hopefully I don't get these swatches on me. So I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully, and bye.
Oh my God, that's my baby, Caroline, you divine, mighty fine.